Hi there, Brandon J here from WA Production. In this video, I'll show you how you can enhance your mix from this
You and me,
to sounding like this
you and me.
using our newest multi-effects plugin, Ignition. This session already has some processing applied to it. Ignition is just the icing on the cake. So we have this mixing session here where I've already done some processing. As you can see, I've applied one of our best-selling plugins, Vocal Shaper, to the vocals.
You and me.
I also slapped a little bit of reverb on that. Here we have our bass, our synth, and of course, our drums. Let's process our drums first. Let's have a listen. You can hear some of the elements are a bit harsh and aggressive. Let's listen to the kick alone. It sounds a bit too aggressive, at least to my taste. Now let's listen to the snare. The snare is quite alright, but maybe we can shove some of the highs down a little bit. Now let's listen to the hi-hats. The hi-hats are quite alright as well, but a little bit of compression might help. Let's process the kick drum first. I'm just gonna slap in Ignition real quick. I'd like to start from scratch, so I'm just gonna disable all active effects first. Before we start tweaking, let's have a quick listen. So as I have mentioned earlier, it sounds a little too aggressive for my taste. So what I'm gonna do is just process the transient. I'm just gonna set it to low-mid settings because that's where most of the kick signal sits in. To know more about the options for each of the module, please refer to the manual as it would probably take another video for me to talk about each one of them. Let's listen to it first with the sustain cranked up to 100. Now without. Now let's reduce the attack. You don't have to use all the modules to make some improvements to your sound. Now let's pay attention to the snare. Let's again start processing the transient, but this time it's a snare, so we'll set it to mid-high setting. Again, please refer to the manual to get an idea on what setting you should use. I'll crank up the sustain and reduce the attack. Okay, maybe let's increase the attack a little bit. Okay, so there's a little bit of change in there. Not sure if you guys can hear because it's very subtle. Now let's tame that high frequency in the snare that I was talking about earlier. We'll use the EQ for that. Well, I'm not gonna do anything with the low frequency, so I'll just gonna neutralize that real quick. Since we will be shoving those high frequencies off, I'll set it to the appropriate setting. Let's first crank this up to around 30%. Now without. Maybe a few percent more. Now without. Let's maybe add some punch to it. Maybe that's a little too much. Maybe let's reduce the mix level to around 90%. Now without. Now let's process our hi-hat loop. First, let's increase the stereo width. Maybe 50% should suffice. Now let's add a bit of transient processing. I'm just gonna keep this to flat for this one. Let's listen to it first with this setting. Let's try 25% for the sustain. Okay, that didn't do much, but let's just keep it for now. Now let's slap some tape saturation to it. The drive is a little too harsh. Let's set it to 85%. Now let's listen without the effect. With the effect. Now let's tame some of the high frequencies. Not too much, just maybe 30% should do. Now let's compress it a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it to glue. Let's play it at 100% and we'll adjust the threshold until we hear something. I'm just gonna continue making some adjustments until we hit the sweet spot. Okay, so we're now going to process the entire drum mix as a whole. Let's add some light glue compression to it. It sounds a bit squashed. Maybe we can adjust the threshold to around 75%. Okay, that sounds fine. Now let's apply an EQ. For the low frequencies, I'm just gonna add some impact. Let's set both parameters to 0 for now. For the high frequencies, some presence would be nice. And that's it. Next, we'll look at our bass. Since this is a bass track, I'm not going to add stereo width to it. Hold on a second, this should be in default view. If anything, this should be in mono, so we'll adjust the mono maker. Let's put it at 100 Hz. Next, let's apply dynamics to it. For this one, I'll use the digital setting. Let's put the mix level at 100 and just leave the drive as is. Now let's play it without. Okay, so let's adjust the threshold to around here. As you can see, there's something going on there. Now let's apply some tape saturation to it. That sounds a bit much. Let's put it around 85%. Actually, I'll change my mind. I'll go with 80%. For the drive, let's set it to 40. Now let's listen without. Next, we apply an EQ. We won't be needing any enhancement to our high frequencies here. For the low frequencies, we will boost the sub bass a little. That sounds big. I'll just find a sweet spot for my ears. Now that sounds a lot better to me. Okay, so for the vocals, as you can see, I've already added a little bit of processing using one of our bestseller, Vocal Shaper. I've also added auto-tune and some reverb for space. This is how it sounds.
You and me, that's all we need.
Let's turn off the reverb for now. First, we'll apply an EQ to give it more presence in the mix.
You and me, that's all winning. You and me.
Next, we'll apply some dynamics, setting it to the over-the-top setting.
You.
Oops, that's a little too loud.
You and me.
Let's listen without the effects.
You and me.
It's still a bit loud, so maybe we should just adjust the output gain a little.
You and me.
Okay, so now let's listen to the overall before and after to hear the final result.
You and me. That's all.